America, the Winter Soldier here in America, but in other countries it's called something else. It's called Captain America. DC and Warner Brothers are still sitting on their balls. Kind of sketchy. But yeah, guys, I'm finally bringing you my first impressions video on Captain America, the Winter Soldier. And yeah, it's like been a week since this movie's been out, but I actually do have a concrete reason for this video coming out this late today. Again, internet, nothing going on about that, but I actually wanted to wait about a week for this to get my first impressions of this movie out because I wanted to give people some time to see the movie. That way, when I do a spoiler-filled video about this movie, I don't feel like that. So I wanted to wait and give people a chance to see the movie so that people can watch the video and not feel left out by watching the video and whatnot. So the reason this video is coming up as late as it is, but I want to give people some time to see the movie. Then watch the video. This is spoiler-filled, as it says up in the title. So if you haven't seen the movie, then don't watch the video. If you have, then just run and watch the video. I've given spoiler warning right now. There's a spoiler warning up in the title below, so fair game. Before I actually get into the movie itself, as I usually do, because I love to torture you guys, I should probably recap exactly what I thought, no pun intended, recap exactly what I thought of the first Captain America, so first Avenger. I did a full review of it, so if you want to know what exactly I liked about it, then just watch the review. But overall, I loved it. I thought it was really, really good. I think in the lead up solo Marvel films leading up to the Avengers, it was personally my favorite. Well, I think it's probably a very close tie between that and the first Iron Man movie, but I really loved the Captain America movie, the first Avenger. I thought given the fact they made a Captain America movie actually kind of practical and not ridiculous as all hell was definitely a big kudos to them. To all the people who made it. Chris Evans was a big surprise as Captain America, how good he was, and it just gave the movie a lot of heart. And that's something I thought that the movie would have lacked incredibly. The whole heart aspect of Captain America. That would just be again a really ridiculous, really stupid, campy, action movie that just painted Captain America in a really ridiculous light. I mean, how can you make a guy who's dressed up as in the Star Spangled Banner, not only have heart but look practical? And for somehow, some way, they managed to pull that off. So I loved it. I thought it was great, and that's why it's my personal favorite solo Marvel Avenger films. Avengers is still my favorite. Phase 1 movie is just but it's my favorite lead into the Avengers movie. So now we got Captain America: The Winter Soldier, and I was both really looking forward to this movie, but also very, worried about this movie, which I'll get into later. But as a sequel to Captain America, the first Avenger, I thought it was really good. It's more of a sequel to, of course, the Avengers. Being honest, what all these Phase 2 movies are, they're more of a sequel to the Avengers. But I thought it was a good sequel to the first Captain America movie, and that's something I do want to address completely right off the bat. Both this and Captain America, both Winter Soldier and First Avenger are completely different movies entirely. I mean, they're both made by different people, of course, but I mean, just given the whole, the plot and the overall style, especially. I mean, the first movie was placed in the 40s, this is placed in contemporary times and contemporary society, so it's already a given this is going to be completely different movies, but these movies are completely different plot-wise. I mean, the first movie was, again, about sort of heart, and it doesn't really matter. The whole moral of the first movie is that it doesn't really matter, physically, wise, that makes you a hero. It's really what you got here that makes you a hero. This movie's more of kind of dealing with a lot of problems, regarding today's contemporary times, which is about trust issues. I mean, with the whole, NSA bullshit going on, it kind of deals with stuff like that. So the movie is completely different from the first movie, and both movies are just barely sequels. I think the only thing that's connecting them as sequels is Captain America being in it. And I thought at first that would really put me off about this movie. I thought that it would, again, really make me think of it as just a sequel to the Avengers, not really to Captain America: The First Avenger. And that's kind of my big worry about all of these Phase 2 movies, is that it would just be sequels to the Avengers exclusively and just kind of forgetting about the franchise honestly proven themselves as not only good sequels to the Avengers, but sequels to their previous films. And again, this is what this movie does. You know, definitely does tap on a lot of stuff that was left from first Avenger, like his relationship with Peggy Carter, and of course the Winter Soldier himself, which I'm gonna get into right now. Um, this is a spoiler video. I mentioned that in the beginning, and it says in the title. But if this were not a spoiler-filled video, if this were just my spoiler-free review or first impressions of the movie, I would still reveal who the Winter Soldier is. The Winter Soldier is in fact Bucky, and I say this because it should come as no surprise that the Winter Soldier is Bucky. I mean, the comic has been around for years now. And they kept on revealing who he was in the behind-the-scenes featurette that they released weeks before the fucking movie came out. So it should honestly be no surprise to anybody that this movie, that Bucky is the Winter Soldier, Bucky, however you want to phrase it. I mean, I saw a behind-the-scenes featurette for this movie, like before the preview started for the movie. You know how you'll get like commercials before the previews in a movie theater. And one of the featurettes was for this movie, and they revealed who the fuck the Winter Soldier was. Why the fuck would you do that? I mean, I know, some people, haven't read the comic. Like, why would you reveal that to, the people who haven't read the comics or anything? But I don't, should not come as a surprise to anybody that Bucky is Winter Soldier. So, again, if this wasn't the spoiler film video, I would still admit that. This, very, very obvious. So I wasn't surprised when they revealed, oh, Bucky's the Winter Soldier. I knew that going into this. I knew that when First Avenger came out. I was just like, oh, cool. Set up for Winter Soldier. I knew that way before this movie was even announced, so it didn't come as a surprise to me. Um, but holy shit, he was badass in this movie. That was something. Now, something that I know a lot of people have complained about, and I know a lot more people will complain about, is the Winter Soldier himself actually in this movie, Bucky in this movie. And this is something that I sort of noticed with the movie too, is that he's not really in it that much. That's not to say that he's in it disgustingly little, like he's just barely in the movie. I'm saying he's not in the movie as much as you would think, given that the title is, well, The Winter Soldier, and you take Captain America out of the title of the movie is just The Winter Soldier, and I'm saying, given the title, he's really not in it that much as you would expect, given the title of the movie is Winter Soldier. But for what he was, for the amount of time he was given, I thought it was fine. I thought he was given enough screen time, and there's going to be future Marvel movies, and there's going to be future Marvel movies that definitely tie into this one. Captain America 3 was pretty much set up at the end of this movie, which is going to be looking for the Winter Soldier again, so I don't think it should come as, the Winter Soldier is going to be in future Marvel movies, so if you didn't get enough here, you're going to get enough of them in future Marvel movies, and Bucky becomes the future Captain America when Steve Rogers seemingly dies, which I hope is the storyline for Captain America 3 and Avengers 3. Really hoping about that. So we're gonna get enough Winter Soldier in the future. So if you didn't get enough here, just wait a little while, you're gonna get enough. But I thought was given plenty. I mean, every single scene that he was in, fucking badass. I mean, I think my favorite scene with him, was I think the second time we see him, which is the fight that he has with Steve Rogers on the bridge, or when Steve Rogers finds out that it's Bucky, which that is something that I do think his little bit of screen time actually hindered, was the whole reveal of Bucky being Winter Soldier being Bucky again, whatever how you phrase it. I thought that was incredibly rushed. I mean, they reveal it at the end, the very end of the second act of the movie. I thought that was just incredibly rushed. I thought they could have maybe revealed it a little bit early, or again, given him a little bit more screen time to really let that, emphasize, his presence, and really emphasize, oh, wow, I can't believe, Bucky's the Winter Soldier, I can't believe he's turned evil now, and whatnot. So I thought that was really rushed. I was like, when they revealed it, I was like, they're revealing it now, like the tail end of the movie. Like, okay, it's a minor problem, but something I think that could have been really fixed if he was given a little bit more, some more scenes added. But I also didn't mind his little bit of screen time, because we're actually given a lot of other really important elements of the story that kind of make up for that. And I think the way that I can sort of make that a little bit more clear picture is that I'm gonna compare the Winter Soldier screen time in this movie to Venom's screen time in Spider-Man 3, which is the reason why Venom was so disappointing in Spider-Man 3 was because we not only barely got any of him in the movie, but all the other scenes that didn't have him in it were completely unnecessary and could have been cut out of the movie and could have been given to Venom's development. Like, we barely got any Venom, but we got Peter Parker dancing and hitting women. But no Venom. Okay, fine. But here, where the scenes that don't have Winter Soldier have character development and story development and other important elements of the story that are also very interesting and captivating. Like, throughout the whole movie, you're not going to be sitting there thinking, okay, can we just get on, get to the Winter Soldier. You're going to be sitting there really getting captivated and really getting interested in the plot and everything that's going on. And to the point where when the Winter Soldier is going to be coming out, you're going to be like, holy shit, the Winter Soldier! Oh my god, this just got even more better. I mean, I think the way I can describe the movie is that imagine the whole movie as a whole as a nice dish of ice cream. It's beautiful, it's amazing, it's absolutely delicious, you love it. But the Winter Soldier is kind of like the sprinkles or the chocolate syrup on the ice cream. Like the ice cream itself is already amazing, but the Winter Soldier is put in the movie just to make it even better. The Winter Soldier is the sprinkles on the dish that make it absolutely even more better than it already was. I think that's the best way I can describe the Winter Soldier. It's like all the scenes that he's not in, we're still given character development and stuff that matters to the point where you can realize, oh, so that's why Winter Soldier isn't in it that much. Which, if you have to take a certain element of action out of a movie in order to give us more character development and story development, then by all means take out the action and give us the story and the characters. Because that's really, at the end of the day, that's all that matters in the movie. They can care less about the action, give me the characters and give me the story. So I love the Winter Soldier in this movie. I cannot wait to see him in future Marvel movies. I love him. I thought he was an absolute badass in this movie, and I hope he takes up the mantle of Captain America in later Marvel movies. I mean, I hear Sebastian Stan, the actor who portrays Winter Soldier, signed on for 9 movies, so that should pretty much indicate we're gonna get him as Captain America, or Bucky Cap, as I like to call him, as everyone else likes to call him. Can't wait to see that. I hope that happens. Another thing that I really liked about this movie, but again, going back to what I said earlier, something that really worried me about the movie was that I thought the whole movie was just going to be pretty much like what we got from the Avengers was Captain America, dealing with contemporary times and dealing with, today's time, our time. And I thought that was just going to be the entire movie. Like, the entire 2 hours was just going to be that movie where Captain America he's learning about computers. He's learning about the stuff that's happening now. We're gonna crack jokes about him being an old man, technically, and we're gonna crack jokes about him not knowing what computers or Wi-Fi or wireless radio or any of that other bullshit is gonna be. I thought it was just going to be just 2.5 hours of that, and that's something that I was really dreading about this movie. I was excited about it, but that's one of the aspects of it that I was really, really not looking forward to. But the way that they have Captain America deal with contemporary times now, I thought was done very subtly. I thought it was done in a very, very smart way. Captain America, as we all know, is a simple man from the 1940s, and he fought during World War II. So at that time, he obviously had a very black and white perspective of good and evil. Who's the good guy, who's the bad guy. So the way that they have him deal with contemporary times, today's times now, is putting him in, today's, time and having him, a man who has a very black and white perspective on good and evil. He put in today's time, which really is a very gray area of good and evil. It's very, very cluttered and very, very foggy, vision of good and evil. And I thought that was great. I thought that was really a smart and very subtle way of showing that Captain America is different from a man from a different time. By having him, he's a man with different vision of a very simple version of good and evil. And I thought giving it putting him in today's time, which has a very muddled, very gray perspective on good and evil. Like, we don't really know who is good and who is bad, who to trust and who to not trust. And that's kind of the whole moral of the movie, or the whole theme of the movie, is trust. Who you can trust, who you can't trust, and they put that all on Shield in the movie, which I'll get into in a minute on the whole big plot twist regarding Shield. But I thought the whole aspect of Captain America dealing with today's times with them very subtly. And again, I expected them just to have a bunch of jokes on him being old and him not knowing what computers and all that stuff, like examples of that. But I thought this was a really smart way, a very very out of the box way of doing it, having him deal with times now by dealing with the whole aspect of good and evil. Who to trust and who to not trust. And I thought that was perfectly captured when we find out that Shield the whole time since Shield's inception was pretty much just Hydra. And that was a big surprise for me to learn, because going into this movie, I'm gonna be upfront with you guys. Going into this movie, I was expecting this movie just to be like Batman Under the Red Hood, the animated movie, just with Captain America characters. Because when you really get down to it, that's all the Winter Soldier is. It's just Jason Todd, Red Hood, and that's really about it. I just expected to get that movie just with Captain America characters. I wasn't expecting anything else besides that. But we got more than that, and we find out in this movie again that Hydra the whole time has just been that Shield has just been a veil, a guise for Hydra. And since Shield's inception, Hydra has infiltrated Shield and has just again used it as a disguise to run American history the way that they want it to be run. And we even find out that they've been using the Winter Soldier to assassinate key figures in history, like Howard Stark, Tony Stark's dad, which I really hope they bring that up in future Marvel movies, that we can find out, um, Tony Stark can find out who actually killed his dad, or what actually happened to his dad. I really would like to see that happen. Um, but that was really interesting to see, like Shield, like Hydra has just been this cancer, pretty much, just this disease growing inside of Shield the whole time, and it really leaves you wondering, what the hell is going to happen with the future of Marvel movies. I mean, especially Age of Ultron. I really want to see how this will tie into Age of Ultron. I mean, Age of Ultron already seems to have enough dealing with, Ultron, one of the biggest Avengers villains, one of the biggest villains in the Marvel universe of all time. I'm wondering how it's going to tie into that. That seems really interesting. I mean, Shield was the group, the government agency that brought together the Avengers. They're not going to bring together the Avengers in this one. The Avengers just have to bring themselves together and just work together without other people telling them to work together. They just have to get their shit together, and I can't wait to see how that plays out. I can't wait to see how it plays out in Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't watch Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I think I'm going to give it a second look after this movie, because I really want to see how that whole show plays out now. I mean, with no S.H.I.E.L.D., how is it going to be Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? I'm not gonna lie, pretty damn intriguing. I really want to see how that plays out. So I'm probably gonna give it a second look. Um, but that was just interesting to see. And again, it deals with the whole black and white, very grayish, look that we have on good and evil, and who to trust and who not to trust. And I thought that was great again, tying in with the Steve Rogers sort of black and white vision on the evil and being a man from the 1940s, that being a time of, it's pretty basic for you to point out who's good and who's evil. I thought that was great. I wish I could explain it in a better way, but I'm trying to think right now. Like, S.H.I.E.L.D. in the comics for me always was like the very shady, government agency. Like, they would do good, but they always had like a certain agenda that, they would do good, but they would only do good if it really benefited them. And I thought this was a great way of capturing that, because the whole time Shield has just been doing good stuff, but at the benefit for Hydra. I thought that was great. Like the whole time we learned that people have worked for Shield and wanted to work for Shield to do good in the world. Like Captain America did it, Nick Fury did that, and Natasha Romanoff did that. She did it to sort of redeem herself after all this shit she did when she was working with the Soviets. We learned that they've just been working for, I think as Loki would put it, liars and killers. They've been lying and killing in the service of liars and killers, and that's come kind of full circle this whole point. Like, we got a little sort of glimpse at S.H.I.E.L.D.'s very shady background in Avengers, and this just pretty much just pulls the curtain out and just shows it completely, all their shadiness and everything that's behind it. I thought that was just so interesting, and again, it just leaves so many big questions at the end. Like, where is this all going to go? Where's the Marvel Universe hanging now? Where is it? Where are we going to go from here? And I cannot wait to see those questions answered. I don't expect them to be completely answered in something like, Avengers 2, but I hope for them to be answered later. But something that I really another question that it leaves is, where the fuck is the Red Skull? I mean, now that Hydra is back in full force, where's the Red Skull, the leader of Hydra and everything? I gotta be quite honest. I was expecting, and I'm really disappointed that Alexander Pierce didn't actually turn out to be the Red Skull, Robert Redford's character. Again, spoiler. Um, I was really expecting him to be the Red Skull in this movie because that would have made so much sense, right? The guy, the main leader, the guy behind Shield, is the guy behind Hydra. That would just perfectly make sense, wouldn't it? I just didn't understand why they didn't go that route. I mean, it would have made perfect sense. Would have tied both in, together completely. Just made more sense if you had him be Red Skull. It would have explained what the hell happened to him when he got eaten by the Rubik's Cube of Destiny at the end of First Avenger. And we still have no confirmation what the hell happened to him. I mean, we know he's out there somewhere. He didn't die. He just got transported somewhere. So where did he get transported to? I really wish this movie sort of, you know, sum that up for us, or just, gave us insight on what the hell happened to Red Skull. So, but we don't get that. Alexander Pierce is just a character for the movie. Instead of him being the Red Skull, he's just been a Hydra operative for, years and years and years. He has worked for Shield / Hydra. So, I guess that's fine. I guess maybe Marvel has, some, grand, epic, better idea out there. Who knows? I mean, I'm not that great at ideas either, so maybe they definitely have a better idea than I do. So, I guess that's it. But I'm really kind of disappointed about that. But it's not that big of a deal. It's just a small problem. Um, yeah, what else about this movie? I already talked about that problem. I should probably get into some of the other problems I have in the movie. I guess one is we learn later through the whole, how we learn how Hydra has infiltrated Shield from Shield's inception is actually from Arnim Zola, which I was great seeing. Again, I read some of the Captain America comics, so it was great seeing that character again from the first Avenger movie. And actually the robot from the comic books. I thought that was really, really great. But he explains that, when Shield was just starting up and when Shield was just starting to become a big government agency, they actually hired some of Hydra's operatives and some Hydra scientists. Why the fuck would you do that? You're hiring the bad guys to come work for your institution. Isn't that already just asking for trouble? I mean, you don't think that's gonna come back and bite you in the ass later? Because guess what? It kind of did. I thought it was a stupid idea. And also, speaking of Arnim Zola, it was great seeing him in his robot body and his consciousness inside of a computer like in the comic books. But how the hell did they manage to do that? They managed in the 1970s to transport someone's consciousness into a computer, a 1970s computer, and not only that, but the thing still works in 2014. I mean, I know it's a comic book movie, but I can only suspend my disbelief so far, guys. And another issue I have with the movie is that at some point in the movie, Nick Fury seemingly dies, which I say seemingly because he doesn't actually end up dying in the movie. Well, kind of. I'll get into that in a minute. But he ends up dying. It looks like he's dead. And then he comes back later in the movie alive, which isn't a surprise to anybody at all. I mean, killing off Nick Fury. No, you're not going to do that. I mean, it's Nick fucking Fury. And not only that, but Samuel L. Jackson playing Nick fucking Fury. And we already know he signed on for like 9 movies. He's not dying in this movie. He's not dying anytime soon. So it didn't come as a surprise that he was alive in the movie. And again, I already talked about Alexander Pierce not being Red Skull. That was kind of disappointing. But those was just sort of some of the problems I had in this movie. Another one I just am now remembering. If Shield the whole time was Hydra, why the hell did Shield get together the Avengers? Probably the only other force in the entire world that can stop Hydra. That's again kind of gonna bite your guys, come back and bite you guys in the ass, right? That's pretty stupid, if you ask me. Um, yeah, that about sums up pretty much what I liked about the movie. I thought the movie was great. It had a few minor problems, but overall I thought it was great. But I liked the thing that I liked the most about it is just how they managed to show Captain America, in contemporary times. I thought that was great. Great job that they did. They didn't have him. They didn't have those scenes. Scenes where he's doesn't know what a computer is. I mean, they have some jokes. They have this little booklet of some stuff that he needs to get caught up on, like Steve Jobs. And by the way, Captain America has seen Star Wars. Badass. Um, but they have some scenes like that in the movie. But I like that they showed him, you know, really, not understanding today's times by not understanding our black and white, our very gray look on, outlook on good and evil. Like, who you should trust and who you shouldn't trust, or who to trust and who not to trust. Very gray, and you don't really know who to trust. And again, showing Shield being infiltrated by Hydra, now not being able to trust Shield was really cool, especially when he didn't really trust Shield to begin with, even before he found out that Hydra has infiltrated Shield. I thought that was great. That was just the main reason why I love this movie as much as I did. I thought, personally, I'm going to go as far as to say that this was better than the Avengers. I'm actually going to go there, because when you get down to it, the Avengers was nothing more than, the simple cookie cutter plot of bad guy wants to take over the world, here to stop him, the end. This was more, this was actually, saying something. This was actually about something, like, really sort of touching on the problem that we have today in America, which is, can we really trust our government? Can we really trust the people that protect us? The whole bullshit NSA stuff going on. I thought that was really topical and actually was saying something. But I still love the Avengers. Don't get me wrong. I think it's my favorite comic book movie of all time. Pretty much summarizes everything that makes comic books awesome on the silver screen. But I think as like a film, what makes a film important, this was a little bit more and better. Like story wise and plot wise, character wise, this is just much better. I still love the Avengers. Don't get me wrong, but this was just a little tiny bit better. Like I would give the Avengers like a 9. This I'm gonna give a 9.5 out of 10 stars. Let's get it. We have a star, a shield, on a chest. I'm not clever. But before I go, I just want to touch on some minor little stuff that I saw in the movie. Of course, this being a Marvel film, we of course have some awesome Easter eggs that we need to talk about and need to discuss. And a little segment I like to call stuff in a comic book movie that is not really all that important, but fuck it, I'm going to talk about it anyways because I'm a giant geek. So let's talk about these right now. There was actually a callback, at least I think it was, a little callback to the 1990s Captain America movie, which is when him and Black Widow are driving their way to New Jersey, and Black Widow goes, since when did Captain America learn how to steal a car? Which I thought was a callback to the 1990s Captain America movie, because all he did in that was pretend to be Stick and jack people's cars. Again, I hate that movie. Another thing was a Doctor Strange reference. They referenced Doctor Strange, Stephen Strange, in this movie, who is one of the big Marvel good guys in the Marvel universe. So that officially confirms we are getting I want to see a Doctor Strange movie. I hope we're getting a Doctor Strange movie. I hope this thing goes somewhere, and it, mentioned, and it pretty much confirms that he exists in this Marvel Cinematic Universe. So thank God that exists. And hopefully this is a reference that will actually go somewhere. It won't just be a giant cock tease for comic book fans to be sitting there going, when the hell are we going to get a Doctor Strange movie? Talking to you, Spider-Man 2. Fuck you, dick. And then we also have 2 after-credit scenes. That's kind of what we've been getting with these Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 2 movies. 2 after-credit scenes. The first one is a post-credit scene. And that scene is probably the most important. I would suggest to stay after that one. Second one is, well, I'll talk about the first one. The first one is, again, actually setting up 2 new recruits that will be in Avengers 2, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, as well as future Hydra villain Baron von Strucker. That's a German name. If there's any German name out there, it's that. Baron von Strucker. That's German. It's pretty damn German. And the second one is just a scene of Bucky going to the Captain America little monument and museum at Smithsonian, which is really cool. That's more setting up for Captain America 3 than Avengers 2. Hopefully it'll happen in Avengers 2, but probably just Captain America 3 to safe bet. Um, and we also, my favorite out of all these Easter eggs is a Pulp Fiction reference, which is, we get a Pulp Fiction reference in a Marvel movie. And Samuel L. Jackson being in this movie, it's kind of, no-brainer, but at the end of the movie, Nick Fury has to fake his death so that he can go to Europe and, and look for the rest of Hydra, all the other Hydra agents out there. And on his little grave, there's a little epitaph on his grave that says, the path of the righteous man, Ezekiel 25:17, which is a reference to Pulp Fiction, which is probably a reference to the greatest film scene of all time in any movie. I'm not going to spoil it from the actual movie itself. Just watch this movie, then watch Captain America, and you'll be like, that's fucking awesome. This movie's just not even better. So that about does for my first impressions. My impression, my opinions on this movie may change from here to then. But my thoughts on Captain America, The Winter Soldier, was that it was great. I thought it was better than the Avengers. It pretty much raised the bar on how the other Marvel movies should reach, and pretty much is like how this is the template for what Marvel movies should do from now on. I've been loving these Phase 2 movies. I think they've actually been better than the Phase 1 solo movies. So I cannot wait to see what happens with the future of these Marvel movies. We have Marvel movies from Marvel Studios planned out till 2028. I will be 28 years old when these movies reach that limit. That's amazing. That is impressive beyond words. That's not impressive. I don't know what it is. 2028. That's 20 years after this began in 2008 with Iron Man. That's impressive as all hell. That's why I've been loving these Marvel movies, because these are something that I'm going to grow up, telling my kids about. Growing up, I grew up with this. Like, these are pretty much like the modern day serials. Like, modern day matinee movie series like Flash Gordon or, like the Batman serials or whatever. These are them, because these all are all connected. They all share the same story and the same characters, and that's so endearing, so sentimental to me. It's going to be something that I'm going to grow up, remembering. It's something that I'm going to grow up, really, really, remembering. It's something I'm going to remember it growing up and remember. Oh my god, I'm tired. I'm sorry. But, that's why I think it's so offensive that DC is trying to lazily just, copy and paste what they're doing and do it horribly. But overall, Captain America: The Winter Soldier, I thought was great, start to finish. It was about something, a great character development, a great story. And again, it was actually saying something about something that's kind of plaguing today's time. I thought that was great, using all these Captain America and Marvel characters. I thought it was a great movie. Like I mentioned, I give it a 9.5, 9.5 out of 10 stars. Definitely check it out. If you don't check it out, then you are not American. Because, America. Fuck yeah. This movie. Watch this movie and watch this, because America. America. So, America, 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 America. Watch this movie. It's awesome. America. 9.5 out of 10. Just watch it. It's America.